Reporters Without Borders, a group which campaigns for the freedom of journalists around the world, has condemned the chain of threats against journalists in exile and their families, and described the behavior of the officials of the Islamic Republic of Iran against these journalists as hostage-taking. Navid Aghdazi, cousin of Atta al-Rezvani, a Baha'i citizen who was killed on the 24th of August 2013, told the International Campaign for Human Rights in Iran that the murderer of this Bandar Abbas citizen has not yet been identified, and despite the protests by Mr. Rezvani's family, the magistrate has raised the claim that it was suicide. Last week, Sattar Beheshti's mother told the International Campaign for Human Rights in Iran that the indictment issued for her son's prison death case as a quasi-intentional murder was unexpected. "We're really disappointed with the indictment," she said. "Up until the time the indictment was issued, during the meetings, every time we saw Mr. Shahriari, the case's investigative judge, he spoke of Sattar's murder, and he always told us, 'You must forgive Sattar's murderer,' as Imam Ali did. He said that the murderer is also a young man with a family. But how is it now that an indictment for quasi-intentional murder has been issued? All their efforts are focused on the murderer, who is an interrogator, not being punished."
Alireza Rajabian Fard, a medicine graduate student from the University of Tehran, was arrested amongst others during the election incident in 2009. He was transferred to Section 350 of Evin Prison with a sentence of 3.5 years. On Tuesday, the 8th of October, a young girl who had acid thrown into her face, resulting in blindness in one eye and severe burnt marks, demanded retribution from the court. In result, the offending boy was sentenced by the judge to have his eyes and ears for transplant. On Tuesday, the 8th of October 2013, 2 prisoners were hanged in the city of Ahvaz. The identities of the prisoners are unknown, but they were sentenced to execution with charges of trafficking heroin. On Wednesday, the 9th of October 2013, the magistrate court sentenced Mehdi Khazali to 6 years imprisonment with charges of propaganda against the regime and gathering and conspiring against the national security. Ali Mustafavian, the prosecutor in the city of Rasht, announced the hanging of 3 civilians. The execution of one of the victims was carried out in public. On Wednesday, the 9th of October 2013, an execution by hanging took place in Qadir Fasar Square in the city of Shiraz due to being charged with armed robbery.
During the past month, more than 10 members of Shiraz University of Medical Sciences have been summoned to the Intelligence Ministry. Most of these students are activists of Mr. Rouhani's campaign. Reportedly, with the new regulations of Tehran University, more than 40 talented PhD students have been deprived from further education.
Three dervishes from the city of Kavar, named Kazem Dehqan, Hamid Reza Arayesh, and Muhammad Ali Shamshirzan, have been banned from visiting their birth town for life without parole. This sentence was issued by the Revolutionary Court in Shiraz. The dervishes were accused of wagging war against God, membership in illegal dervishes groups, and encouraging disturbance to the national security. The intelligence agents in the cities of Sarbandar and Mahshar summoned a number of citizens, demanding them to sign a pledge that they will never engage in any deals and transactions with the Baha'i citizens. Last week, Mamusta Abdul Ghaffar Mohammadi, one of the Sunni scholars in the village of Alak, was summoned and threatened by the Iranian intelligence ministry. Moreover, the mosque in this village was shut down by the agents. 27-year-old Murtaza Wafai, a Sunni citizen of Mashhad, a blogger and an Arabic literature student of the Open University of Qom, was sentenced to 21 months of imprisonment by the Revolutionary Court in Mashhad. On Wednesday, the 9th of October 2013, 5 political Sunni prisoners sentenced to death by execution in Rajai Shah prison in Karaj were transferred to an unknown location.
Prison officials at Evin prison are refusing to allow prisoner Reza Shahabi, a Labour activist held in Section 350 of Evin prison, to take a medical leave despite doctors' diagnosis. Furthermore, in the past week, Ali Rastgoo, the Workers' Rights Secretary of Shiraz, stated that more than 100 labourers from the company Marvdasht Azmayesh have at least 15 months of pending wages, and in addition he announced this production unit has been completely shut down for 8 months. The Labour Home Secretary of Semnan said 38 labourers of the factory of Machine Lent gathered in front of the Department of Labour and Social Welfare Cooperative in Semnan province, in protest against their 11-month pending wages and expulsion. Furthermore, hundreds of brokers of Villagers Telecommunications gathered in front of the telecommunication company building in Tehran in protest against not implementing the Parliament Act for Continuity of Insurance and adhering to the workers' contract. On Monday the 7th of October, 400 labourers of Jahan's vegetable oil factory gathered in front of the factory in Zanjan in order to convert the state of the company. There are reports that Faramarz Aslani, a workers' rights activist in Hamadan, stated that there has been a 5-month delay in the salaries of 240 factory workers in the alloying iron foundry of Malaya. The Statistics Office and economic calculations, along with social data security statistics, have shown that in the second half of 2012, the number of accidents and incidents caused at work, compared with the first half of the year, has had an increase of over 100%.
According to reports, Mahmoud Wasi, Minister of Communications and Technology, announced on Monday the 7th of October 2013 that the social networking websites such as Facebook and Twitter will remain closed and the filter on them will not be removed. On the morning of Monday the 7th of October 2013, Mustafa Farih, website manager of Enterhab, was arrested and charged with publishing lies and disturbing public opinion.
During the past week, Zainab Jalalian, a political prisoner in the female section of Dizal Abad prison, was deprived of medical leave and the use of health facilities despite her severe physical problems, and is now on the verge of blindness.
On Sunday the 6th of October 2013, Omid Rahmani, an ordinary prisoner held in Urumia Central Prison, was charged with creating propaganda in favor of the trial groups by the Information Administration because he allegedly communicated with prisoners in prison of Urumia. Despite the serious health condition of Hassan Javani, a political prisoner in the city of Bandar Abbas, who is suffering from heart disease and prostate problems, the authorities are paying him little attention. There has been no news for 20 days since the trial of Malawi Naqshband, the Imam of Friday sermons, and 10 of his followers in the city of Rushk. Health conditions and lack of medicines and medical devices in Abbasport prison are very worrying. Despite already being sentenced to 10 years imprisonment, Arjang Dawoodi yet remains in prison due to illegitimate cases against him. Bahauddin Qasemzadeh, who was arrested and charged with murder at the age of 16, was sentenced to death by the Supreme Court and will be executed soon.